Hi dear students, welcome to online classes. I am Virupaksha BP. In previous video, we were discussing about criteria for spontaneity. There are two criteria for spontaneity. According to first criteria, spontaneous process will take place to attain minimum energy and maximum stability. According to second criteria, spontaneous process will take place to attain maximum randomness. To measure randomness of the system, they have introduced a new concept, that is entropy. Entropy is denoted by S. Entropy is used to measure the degree of randomness of the system. So entropy is a measure of the degree of randomness of the system. Degree of randomness of the system. The first point, entropy is directly proportional to randomness of the system. Entropy is directly proportional to randomness of system. If greater the randomness of the system, then greater the value of entropy. Both are directly proportional to each other. The next point, entropy is an extensive property. Entropy is an extensive property. Entropy is an extensive property means the values of entropy is dependent on mass or size of matter. Because extensive property, that means it is dependent on mass or size of matter. Here the values of entropy depends on mass or size of matter. That's why it is an extensive property. The next point, entropy is a state function. Entropy is a state function, that means the values of entropy depends only on initial and final state, not depends on path. That's why the change in entropy is equal to the difference between final entropy and initial entropy. SF minus SI. Here SF means final entropy. SI means initial entropy. The change in entropy is equal to the difference between final entropy and initial entropy. For a chemical reactions, the change in entropy is equal to the difference between product entropy and reactant entropy. Delta S is equal to SP minus SR. Here SP means entropy of product, SR means entropy of reactant. For a chemical reactions, the change in entropy is equal to the difference between entropy of product and entropy of reactant. In the chemical reaction, if there is a more than one product and if there is a more than one reactant, then this equation we can write it as delta S is equal to summation of A into entropy of all the products minus B into entropy of all the reactants. Here A and B are stoichiometric coefficients. Next, in reversible process, delta S can be calculated by using this formula. Delta S is equal to the amount of heat given to the system during reversible process divided by temperature. Here Q reversible is indicates the amount of heat given to system isothermally and reversibly. Here isothermally means at constant temperature. Then what are the units of delta S? What is the unit of heat? The amount of heat we express in joules or calorie. Then what is the unit of temperature? Kelvin. These are the units of delta S. The change in entropy we express in joules per Kelvin or calorie per Kelvin. These are the two units for delta S. Next, let us discuss about entropy and spontaneity of process. Entropy and spontaneity of process. The first point, for an isolated system, delta S value is always positive. For an isolated system, delta S value is always positive. That means delta S value is always greater than 0. For an open system, the change in entropy, total change in entropy is equal to sum of entropy change in system and entropy change in surrounding. For an open system, the total entropy change is equal to entropy change in system plus entropy change in surrounding. The total entropy change is equal to entropy change in system plus entropy change in surrounding. Here the entropy change in surrounding is equal to minus entropy change in system. That's why minus, what is the formula to calculate entropy change in system? Delta S is equal to Q by T, amount of heat by Q. The amount of heat present in the system by T. At constant pressure, what happens? Minus Q, amount of system at constant pressure, divided by T. The amount of heat present at constant pressure is equal to delta H minus the enthalpy of the system, change in enthalpy of the system divided by temperature. So finally, the change in entropy of surrounding is equal to minus amount of heat present in the system at constant pressure divided by temperature is equal to change in enthalpy of the system divided by T. This is the formula. This is the formula to calculate entropy change in the surrounding. It is important. Next, let us discuss about the relation between entropy and spontaneity of process. Here these three conditions are very important. For spontaneous process, the total entropy change values are always greater than 0. Total entropy change values are always greater than 0. That means it is always equal to positive. For non-spontaneous process, the total entropy change is always less than 0. That means always the total entropy change is negative values. At equilibrium, the total entropy change is always 0. These three conditions are very important. You remember these three conditions. For spontaneous process, the total entropy change values are always positive. For non-spontaneous process, the total entropy change values are always negative. For equilibrium, the total entropy change values are equal to 0. The next point, for irreversible process, the total entropy change is always positive. For irreversible process, total entropy change is always positive. But for reversible process, the total entropy change is always 0. For reversible process, total entropy change is 0. Next, let us discuss about second law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics. According to second law of thermodynamics, entropy of an isolated system increases in the course of every spontaneous process. That means during spontaneous process, entropy of an isolated system increases. That's why for an isolated system, delta S value is always positive. According to second law of thermodynamics, entropy of isolated system, entropy of an isolated system increases in the course of every spontaneous process. Spontaneous process. This is called second law of thermodynamics. That's why for isolated system, delta S value is always greater than 0 or always positive. Next, let us discuss third law of thermodynamics. According to third law of thermodynamics, at absolute 0 temperature, entropy of pure crystalline solid is 0. Why? Because at absolute temperature, volume is 0. If volume is 0 means randomness is 0. That's why entropy is 0. Because entropy is directly proportional to the randomness. If there is a no randomness, then there is a no entropy value. According to third law of thermodynamics, at absolute 0 temperature, absolute 0 temperature means 0 Kelvin or minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. Here the entropy of the perfect crystalline solid, perfect crystalline substance is 0. Why at absolute temperature the entropy is 0? Because at absolute 0 temperature volume is 0. If there is no volume, then there is a no randomness. If there is a no randomness, then entropy becomes 0, because entropy is directly proportional to the randomness. These are the second law of thermodynamics and third law of thermodynamics. Next, let us discuss about entropy change during phase transformations. Here phase transformation means converting from one state to another state. For example, converting from solid to liquid, liquid to gas, or solid to gas. Now let us discuss one by one. The first one, entropy of fusion. Entropy of fusion. Entropy of fusion is denoted by delta fusion S. What is entropy of fusion? The entropy change when 1 mole of solid is converted into liquid at its melting point is called entropy of fusion. The entropy change when 1 mole of solid is converted into liquid at its melting point is called entropy of fusion. Entropy of fusion is equal to enthalpy of fusion enthalpy of fusion divided by T, temperature. This is the formula to calculate entropy of fusion. The next one, entropy of vaporization. Entropy of vaporization is denoted by delta vapor S. What is entropy of vaporization? The entropy change when 1 mole of liquid is converted into gas at its boiling point is called entropy of vaporization. The entropy change when 1 mole of liquid is converted into gas at its boiling point is called entropy of vaporization. Entropy of vaporization is equal to enthalpy of vaporization divided by temperature. This is the formula to calculate entropy of vaporization. The third one, entropy of sublimation. Entropy of sublimation. Entropy of sublimation is denoted by delta sublimation S. What is entropy of sublimation? The entropy change when 1 mole of solid is directly converted into gas at a certain temperature is called entropy of sublimation. The entropy change when 1 mole of solid is converted into gas at a certain temperature. Is called entropy of sublimation. Entropy of sublimation is equal to enthalpy of sublimation divided by temperature. This is the formula to calculate entropy of sublimation. This is called entropy change during phase transformations. Next, let us discuss about factors affecting entropy of the system. Factors affecting entropy of system. The first one, entropy of the system is directly proportional to the randomness of the system, right? Entropy is directly proportional to randomness of the system. If greater the randomness of the system, then greater the entropy of system. For example, gas, liquid, solid. Between these three states, in which state there is a more randomness? Gas, liquid or solid? There is a more randomness in gas compared to liquid. Compared to solid, there is a more randomness in liquid. That's why the entropy of gas is greater than entropy of liquid. Entropy of liquid is greater than entropy of solid because entropy is directly proportional to the randomness. The second point, if delta Ng value means change in number of moles. If delta Ng value is greater than 0, then delta S value is also greater than 0. Means entropy depends on number of moles. If change in number of moles is greater than 0, then delta S value is also greater than 0. Next, if delta Ng value is less than 0, then delta S value is also less than 0. Next, temperature. Entropy is directly proportional to the temperature. Entropy is directly proportional to the temperature. Next, entropy is directly proportional to number of particles. Entropy is directly proportional to number of particles. Particles means atoms or molecules. If number of particles increases, entropy of the system increases. If temperature increases, entropy of the system increases. If randomness increases, then entropy of system increases. These are the factors affecting entropy of the system. Next, let us solve some numericals. The first numerical here, predict in which of the following entropy increases or decreases. Here 4 conditions are given. For these 4 conditions we have to predict whether the entropy increases or decreases. Now let us consider first condition. In first condition, a liquid crystallizes into a solid. Here liquid is converted into solid. If liquid is converted into solid, randomness decreases, because as compared to solid, in liquid the molecules are more away from each other. But when they converted into solid, all molecules come close to each other. That means randomness decreases. As randomness decreases, entropy decreases, because entropy is directly proportional to the randomness. In first condition, entropy decreases. Next, let us consider second condition. In second condition, temperature of a crystalline solid is raised from 0 Kelvin to 115 Kelvin. Here temperature is increased. As temperature increases, randomness increases. As randomness increases, entropy increases, because entropy is directly proportional to the temperature. As temperature increases, entropy increases. So in second condition, entropy increases. Next, let us consider third condition. In third condition, he has given reaction. Now, before reaction, how many molecules are there? There is only one molecule. After reaction, how many molecules are there? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 molecules. Here, this single molecule is dissociated into 3 molecules. After reaction, number of molecules are increased. As number of molecules increases, randomness increases. As randomness increases, entropy increases, because entropy is directly proportional to number of particles. As number of particles increases, entropy increases. Here before reaction there is only one molecule, but after reaction there are 3 molecules. That's why in this condition entropy increases. Next, let us consider fourth condition. In fourth condition also he has given equation. Before reaction, how many molecules are there? There are 1 molecule. After reaction, how many atoms are there? There are 2 gaseous hydrogen atoms. That means number of particles increases. Before reaction there is only 1 particle, but after reaction there are 2 particles. So entropy increases. Why? Because here randomness increases as number of particles increases. In fourth condition also entropy increases. Now let us consider second example. In second example, for oxidation of iron, here reaction is given. For oxidation of iron, entropy change is minus 549.4 joules per Kelvin mole at 298 Kelvin. In spite the negative entropy change of this reaction, why the reaction is still spontaneous? Here enthalpy of reaction value is given. Here he is asking the entropy change is negative, but still the reaction is spontaneous. Why? Because the spontaneity of reaction depends on total entropy change. That's why first let us calculate total entropy change. The total entropy change is equal to sum of entropy change in system plus entropy change in surrounding. Here entropy change in system is minus 549.4 joules per Kelvin mole. Here entropy change in surrounding is not given, but indirectly has given enthalpy of reaction, delta H value is given. Now let us calculate entropy change in surrounding. The entropy change in surrounding is equal to, what is the equation? Minus amount of heat at constant pressure divided by temperature. The amount of heat present in the system at constant pressure is equal to enthalpy change in the system, and delta H divided by temperature. Here what is delta H value? Minus 1684 into 10 power 3 joules per mole. Here what is the temperature? Temperature is 298 Kelvin. Now let us solve this one. After calculating, we will get 5530 joules per Kelvin mole, because here Kelvin, here joules per mole. Next, you substitute this value in this equation. Total entropy change is equal to, what is the entropy change in the system? Entropy change in the system is minus 549.4. Next, plus, what is the entropy change in the surrounding? The entropy change in the surrounding is 5530 joules per Kelvin mole. Now you subtract these two values. After subtraction, you will get 4980.6 joules per Kelvin mole. Here the total entropy change values are in positive. Here the total entropy change values are in positive. If total entropy change in values is positive, then the process is spontaneous process. It is spontaneous process. Why this reaction is spontaneous process? Because the total entropy change is positive. That's why this reaction is spontaneous. Next, let us discuss about Gibbs free energy. The spontaneity of process cannot be predicted only on the basis of entropy or only on the basis of enthalpy. So to explain spontaneity of process, they have introduced a new concept, that is Gibbs free energy. What is Gibbs free energy? The maximum amount of energy available to a system to perform useful work is called Gibbs free energy. The maximum amount of energy available to a system to perform useful work is called Gibbs free energy. The mathematical expression is G is equal to H minus T into S. Here G means Gibbs free energy. G means Gibbs free energy. Here H means enthalpy of the system. Enthalpy of the system. Here S means entropy of the system at temperature T. Entropy of the system. Gibbs free energy is an extensive property. Gibbs free energy is an extensive property. Here it is an extensive property, that means the values of Gibbs free energy dependent on mass or size of matter. The next point, Gibbs free energy is a state function. Gibbs free energy is a state function. It is a state function, that means the values of Gibbs free energy depends only on initial and final state, not depends on path. So the change in Gibbs free energy is equal to change in enthalpy minus change in temperature and entropy. At constant temperature, this equation we can write it as delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Here temperature is constant. This equation is called Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. This equation is used to predict whether the process is spontaneous or non-spontaneous process. Now let us discuss units of Gibbs free energy. Delta H value we express in joules per mole or kilojoules per mole. These are the units of Gibbs free energy. Next let us discuss about the relation between Gibbs free energy change, Gibbs free energy change and the spontaneity of process. Spontaneity. Here there is a small derivation. We have to derive the relation between Gibbs free energy change and spontaneity. To derive the relation, let us consider total entropy change. Total entropy change is equal to the sum of entropy change in system and entropy change in surrounding. Entropy change in system plus entropy change in surrounding. At constant pressure, entropy change in surrounding is equal to entropy change in surrounding is equal to minus amount of heat present in the system at constant pressure, amount of heat present in the system at constant pressure divided by T. The amount of heat present in the system at constant pressure is equal to change in enthalpy of the system, change in enthalpy of the system divided by temperature. Now you substitute this equation in this equation. Let us consider this is equation 1. You substitute this value in equation 1. The total entropy change is equal to delta S system minus what is this delta H system divided by temperature. Now it is considered as equation 2. Now multiple equation 2 with T. Multiple equation 2 with T, temperature. Multiple with temperature. If you multiple with the temperature, then this equation becomes temperature into total entropy change is equal to temperature into entropy change in the system minus, here temperature get cancelled, then minus enthalpy change in the system. On rearranging this equation, it will become, on rearranging this equation becomes temperature into total entropy change minus is equal to delta H system minus temperature into delta S system. Here delta H system minus T into delta S system is equal to delta G. So you substitute here minus temperature into total entropy change is equal to delta G. This is the relation between spontaneity and Gibbs free energy. This is the relation between Gibbs free energy change and spontaneity. Here if spontaneity value is negative, then Gibbs free energy value is positive. Both are inversely proportional to each other. The next point, from delta G values we can predict whether the reaction is spontaneous or non-spontaneous reaction. Here I will write three conditions. These three conditions are very important. If delta G value is negative or if it is less than 0, then the process is spontaneous process. The process is spontaneous process. If delta G value is positive or if it is greater than 0, then the process is non-spontaneous process. The third condition, if delta G value is equal to 0, then the process is at equilibrium. These three conditions are very important to predict whether the reaction is spontaneous or non-spontaneous or it is present at equilibrium. This is the relation between spontaneity and Gibbs free energy change. Now let us discuss effect of temperature on spontaneity. Effect of temperature on spontaneity. To avoid confusion, I will draw tabular column. You learn this tabular column. In first column I will write delta H, in second column you write delta S, in third column you write temperature, in fourth column you write delta G. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Here, if delta H value is negative, and delta S value is positive, then at any temperature delta G value will be negative. If delta G value is negative, then the process is spontaneous process. If delta H value is negative, if delta S value also negative, then at high temperature delta G value is positive. If delta G value is positive, then the process is non-spontaneous process. At low temperature delta G value will be negative. If delta G value is negative, then process is spontaneous process. Next, if delta G value is positive, if delta S value is negative, then at any temperature delta G value will be positive. If delta G value is positive, then that means it is non-spontaneous process. If delta H is positive, if delta S is also positive, then at high temperature delta G is negative. Delta G is negative, that indicates the process is spontaneous. At low temperature delta G is positive. Delta G is positive, that means the process is non-spontaneous process. This is the effect of temperature on spontaneity. You have to remember this tabular column, because in competitive exams they will give if delta H is negative, if delta S is positive, then what about delta G? Delta G is negative at any temperature. If delta H is negative, if delta S is negative, then what about delta G at low temperature? Delta G is negative. Like this they will ask in competitive exams. So you remember this tabular column. Next, let us solve some numericals based on Gibbs free energy. The first numerical, for the equilibrium reaction, delta H is plus 400 kilojoules and delta S is plus 200 joules per Kelvin. Then calculate the temperature above which the reaction becomes spontaneous. Here we have to calculate temperature. First let us given data. What is delta H? Delta H is plus 400 kilojoules. What is delta S? delta S is plus 200 joules per Kelvin. You have to calculate temperature. What is the Gibbs free energy change relation? Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Here delta H value is given, delta S value also given. You have to calculate temperature. Then what about delta G? Here the reaction is present at equilibrium. If reaction is present at equilibrium, then delta G value is 0. It is 0. 0 is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Here you have to calculate temperature. So you rearrange this equation. Temperature is equal to delta H divided by delta S. Here what is delta H value? Delta H value is 400 kilojoules. Here what is delta S value? 200 joules per Kelvin. Here the delta H value is in kilojoules, delta S value is in joules per Kelvin. Just we have to convert the delta H values in joules. To convert, just you multiply with 10 power 3. Why? Because kilo means 10 power 3 joules. Divide by 200 joules per Kelvin. Here joules get cancelled. Finally you will get in Kelvin. After simplification, nearly you will get to 2000 Kelvin. This is the temperature. At this temperature the reaction becomes spontaneous. Next problem. Here delta H and delta S for a reaction at 298 Kelvin are minus 1684 into 10 power 3 joules per mole and minus 549.4 joules per Kelvin mole. Then calculate delta G for the reaction. After calculating delta G, now tell me whether the reaction is spontaneous or non-spontaneous. Now first let us write the given data. What is delta H value? Delta H value is minus 1684 into 10 power 3 joules per mole. What is delta S value? Minus 549.4 joules per Kelvin per mole. Next, what is temperature? What is temperature here? 298 Kelvin. Now write the Gibbs free energy change relation. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Now you substitute the values here. What is delta H? Minus 1684 into 10 power 3 in minus what is temperature? 298 Kelvin. What is delta S? Minus 549.4 joule per Kelvin per mole. Here what is the unit? Joule per mole. Now you simplify this one. After simplification you will get minus 1520.27 kilojoules. Here the delta G value is negative. If delta G value is negative, then the process is spontaneous or non-spontaneous. If delta G value is negative, then the process is spontaneous. Okay, thank you.